Let's take a look at the settings page for Nightfox audio instruments. Click on the gear icon in the top right to open this box. On the top left, you'll see all of the MIDI controllers that are connected to your system. And if you don't see it listed here, that probably means it's not connected properly through your system settings. So go there first, make sure it's working in your audio MIDI program, and then come back to here and you should see it. Click on it and it will control your Nightfox instrument. Just to the right of that are the channels available to you through that MIDI device. I just normally click all channels because then it will recognize all of them. If you're doing some interesting stuff that's specified because of your MIDI setup, you can choose the ones that apply to you here. On the right here you have a lot more options, and these have a lot to do with the way your computer is set up. An audio driver is a type of file on your computer that's used to recognize and interact with your audio device. If you're not hearing sound, it's possible that in your settings you haven't set up your driver correctly. This drop-down will display all the devices connected to your computer, and you normally set this up in System Preferences. So once you've set up your chosen audio device in System Preferences, it will show up here and you can just click on it. I have here a list of all the outputs available on that device. I'm choosing monitor left and right. Buffer size. This is the amount of time allowed by your computer to process the audio. If you choose lower numbers here, you'll get a much lower latency, so you'll get a more immediate response time. But higher values will improve your disk performance. So I'd go somewhere in the middle. Sample rate. This is the amount of times in a second that audio is captured. It's similar to frames per second in video. This number should match the number that you choose when you create a session in your DAW. Global BPM. If you have sync to host selected here, this will automatically sync to your DAW. Or if you're in standalone mode, you can choose whatever BPM you desire. Zoom factor, you can zoom in or out on the interface. And then streaming mode, you would select the one more appropriate for the hard drive that you are currently using. IRRE is a global function that adjusts the timbre and pitch of a tone that's struck multiple times in a row. And this is the amount to which that happens, and you can control each of those independently. Pitch bend. This controls the overall amount of pitch bend on your instrument. Not to be confused with pitch at the top here, but this corresponds to the pitch wheel on your MIDI controller. Clicking Clear MIDI CC is going to purge any of the assignments that you've made to parameters inside the instrument. So if you've right-clicked on something and learn MIDI CC, put it on your mod wheel, that can get rid of that assignment. You could also do that by right-clicking that particular parameter and removing MIDI CC. And that's it for the Settings tab.